guys, it's Sarah, and today I'm going to be showing you a flip through of the reading journal that I'm using for 2023. So this year I decided to go on my own and make my own journal. I do like the pre-made journals as well. I just was kind of finding I wasn't using some of the options in them, and I felt it was a little bit like, a waste of paper for me for parts of it. And parts of it I was able to make work for me, but I just really kind of wanted something that I knew I had exactly what I needed because I was making it myself. So I decided to go this route this year, and so far we're halfway through the year and I'm really enjoying this. It is a process, it is time consuming, but to kind of sit and make the time to do it, I've been better about being more consistently working in it, so I'm not having to play like catch up at the end of every month. So keeping it up a little bit more consistently, like working on it at least once a week, has really been helping, and I'm loving flipping through this and I've really enjoyed it. So I'm going to share this with you. So this is what I've done through the month of June. This is as up to date as it can be, and I'll show you what I've been doing. So I am using an Archer and Olive journal. It is a dot grid journal. It has a little embossed metallic coffee cup on it, which is super, super cute. It has metallic pages as well, which is super cute. I am fully in on Archer and Olive. These journals are so quality. It's insane. The paper is amazing. And I love working in these. I have several of these journals that I use for different things. So love these so much. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. So for the opening, I just have this little library card fun thing that I just stuck in here and wrote my name on it. So I just kind of had that lying around. My friend Amanda from the Curly Reader made me this sticker, and this is my logo for my channel, which is super, super cute. I did do this because I had used this journal previously for something else, and I ended up not wanting to keep what was in here. So I ripped out probably 10 pages, and it did make a little bit of a gap in the binding. So I just put a really thick washi tape over it to kind of keep it held together because of that. This is a stamp that I have in my stash. I am also a scrapbooker, so I have a lot of scrapbooking supplies, which is where a lot of the stickers and things in here come from. But this is a stamp that I stamped in here, and I colored it in with colored pencils and just stamped out reading planner. I did 2023 with a little book stamp up there as well. I colored these in as well. Anything that's like colored in, I did. So, okay. So first, I have my goals here. So I drew out some boxes and put a little shadow with some highlighters here. And these are just all of my goals for the year. So I can reference this and see what I need to work on. Okay, this has been a process because I changed the way I have been doing my bookshelves. So this is my books that I've read. I will do them in order that I read them. Now, initially, I have these blank printable bookshelves that I got from Little Inklings Designs, and it's a download. You download it, you can resize it however you want to. And so I did that, and I printed a couple of copies and put them in here. I was using this legend, and I was coloring in the book spines based on what genre they were in. I have done that for the past couple of years. I do like the way it looks. It is really cool to kind of see all the genres and stuff. However, this year I decided, so I started doing this, but then a couple months in, I changed what I was doing. And I decided I wanted to replicate what Megan from Little Inklings Designs was doing in hers, because it's amazing. She basically replicates the book spines of the books that she's reading. So when you look at the bookshelves now, after I've colored these in, it looks very similar to what the actual book spines are. So it's almost like you're looking at a real bookshelf. It turned out so good. This was not obviously my original idea. But look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And it looks amazing. Like, this is really, I'm impressed with myself on the way that I was able to do this. So I saw Megan from Little Inklings Designs do this. I will reference her video down below. I will link her video down below where she talks about how she does this, because I verbatim copied what she did with the wood grain and the background of the things. Like, she walks through and shows you exactly what colors she's using. I bought the same colored pencils that she uses, and I just went all in on this, and I absolutely love the way this looks. So I have 2 more on this shelf here. And so next time I color them in, I'll be doing those, and then I'm going to start working on this side. I don't need this legend anymore since I'm not going to do it. So I may just find like a really thin piece of pattern paper or something and just cover that up, because I'm not going to need that spot anymore. But yeah, I love this. And actually, depending on how the rest of the year goes, I may not even need this either. So I may just cover up this whole thing. We'll see how. I'm going to wait till the end of the year to worry about that. But I will link Megan's video down below where she completely walks you through this, and that's what I used to do this. And then the color pencils that I'm using are from Prisma. I will link those down below as well, but it's the same ones that Megan uses, and she walks you through the colors that she uses. And just this whole process has been very relaxing. It's by no means perfect, and I think the more that I do it, the better I'll get at it, but I really absolutely love the way that this looks. I'm still working on like pens and, you know, stuff like that, because I'm using like gel pens and things, and they're not perfect, but I really love the way that it looks. So this is one of my favorite things about the journal now. So I have room for more on those. Okay, next is my NetGalley. So I just created this grid, and I'm literally just writing down all the NetGalley books that I end up reading and reviewing. So, but we're going pretty good. We're down here already for the year. So that's good. Like, I'm doing pretty good with NetGalley. However, I started the year with a 36% ratio, which means out of all the books that I have been approved for, I have reviewed 36% of them. They want you to be in the 80s. No. So I started the year at 36. Right now I'm only at 39. And that's because I still keep downloading some books. You know, I'm getting some more books still. So I have told myself I'm not going to allow myself to download anymore until I get into the 40s, like 40s plus a little bit of a buffer. So I'm working on that still, but this is pretty good. This is a decent amount of books. But being halfway through the year, I would like to have this a little bit more. So I am working on reading NetGalley books on my Kindle at night. So that's been helping. Okay, for series, I am writing down series that I'm reading from. And then what I've been doing is making these little boxes, and each box is for one book. And I will put like all the books in the series. So for example, I have the Chestnut Spring series, which is a romance series. I read the first book. There's going to be 5 in total. I think number 5 is coming out soon. So I just made 5 boxes just in case I end up like blowing through it or something, very possibly. If I don't, then they'll just stay blank and it's fine. But if I'm reading it in this year, I'm coloring it in a certain color. If it's a series, for example, American Royals, I read a novella. I've read the first 3 books already. I read a novella, and then number 4 is coming out in August, which I do plan to read. So the first 3 books I've read previously to this year. So I went ahead and colored those in a different color. So kind of just indicating, have I read them before this year or did I read them this year? And just kind of helps me see my progress on that. So that's happening. This is for Christmas book exchange. We have not done that yet, obviously. We'll do that in December. So as soon as we do our Christmas book exchange, I'm going to write in what each of my friends, which books they gifted me for that. So that's kind of just waiting for December. This is gifted, so anything that has been gifted to me, sent from anybody, given to me from anybody, I write those down as well so that I know, and then as I read them, I will check them off. Okay, this is book of the month. So I made these boxes, and then each month, which I highlighted in different colors, and then if I got a book, I will write it down. And I put a little dot next to them. That way, if I read them, I can check them off. If I skipped a month, I will write skipped. I have skipped 3 months. And then there's some months that I got multiple books, you know, so like I got 3 books in June. And then I'm just kind of writing down what I pick for the month. And then on this side, I have, it says in my queue, this little stamp, and this is all my backlist. All of my backlist book of the month books. I have checked off 2 of them. I have read 2 of them this year, but Yeah, so doing catch-up-a-thon this month is going to help with that because I'm going to be able to check off a few more, so that'll be nice. But I'm just kind of keeping track on my book of the month stuff. This is the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge that is run by Chantal Reads All Day, and it's a fun little just reading challenge that happens monthly, and I've just been filling it out. So far I've been doing pretty good. I didn't do one for June, but it's a challenge that you don't have to do it in that month as long as you do it sometime in the year. So whenever I fill this prompt here, I will be able to write it in. But they do play off of each other, so I'm going to try not to wait too long to fill that in. And then for authors, this is one of my goals. I would like to read some of my favorite authors to zero. And I'm kind of just writing them in when I make a decision, like I'm going to do this. So right here, I have Sarah J. Maas because I've already read 2 books. I only have 2 more to read from her. I can do that before the end of the year. That's easy. So I've already decided she's going to be one that I read to zero this year. I have another one in mind. So I have not added her yet, but I'm planning. I have 2 more books to read from her now as well because I just read one. So I'm thinking about adding her in here because I can very easily read 2 more of her books. So it's just kind of like one of those things. I'm kind of filling it in as I go. And then reading established but new to me authors. So I actually have 3 in here already. I have Gabrielle Zevin. She has quite a few books. I've read one, loved it, and want to read more. Louise Penny, I started the 3 Pines series, so that's a lot of books. And then Alex E. Harrow, I did read the 10,000 Doors of January, and I would like to read more from her as well. So these are authors that have already been published, and I'm just kind of now getting started. So I could fill 2 more in pretty easily before the end of the year, I'm sure. Okay, so now we're starting to get into the months. So before each season, I'm putting in my most anticipated list. So I make videos seasonally about my most anticipated release. So these are my winter releases. So I do January, February, March. So for each month, these are the books that I am anticipating coming out. I have little dots next to each one so I can check them off. I've already read 1 from each month here, which is awesome. And I'll do this throughout the year. I'll reference this, back this, and see it. Have I read any of these? And I'll check them off as I can. Okay, so January, I used a letter stencil and colored pencils here. So the main parts of each month are the same. So they always start out with this spread here, and it's the same throughout the entire book. It just helps keep it consistent. I know where things are. And then there'll be a little extra things randomly as well, depending on what's going on. So on the top, I'll put my plans. So if I have any buddy reads, if I have a book club book, if there's any readathons happening, just kind of what's happening in the month that I need to pay attention to and make sure that I try to get to, I will write those in here. Down here, I have arcs. So anything coming out in the current month. So these are all the arcs that came out in January that I have access to. So I have physical, if they were sent to me from a publisher and I physically have them on my shelves, I will write them on this side. And then NetGalley. Anything from NetGalley that comes out in January is written down here that I have. And I will check them off as I read them. There's not a whole lot of check marks in here. But I also put a little asterisk next to one if it is one of my most anticipated releases. So for this one, All the Dangerous Things by Stacey Willingham, I had an arc of it on NetGalley. So I put an asterisk because it was one of my most anticipated releases and I did read it. So that's kind of how I'm tracking what's coming out during that month so I can try to make it a priority. I'm still working on that. It's definitely a work in progress. And then on this side, this is my haul. So anything that I hauled during the month goes over here. Again, I have little dots. And for these dots, I use a Zig dot pen. Or a dot marker, I think is what it's called. I'll leave my set link down below. I got them from Amazon, but you literally just boop, and it's the perfect dot. It's fantastic. I've been using them every day. I use them in my personal planner for like checklists and stuff. They're so great. So each one has a little dot next to it. I'll bring it up just in case you can't see them very well. Little dot. And then as I read any of these, again, I will flip through and I will check them off every month just to see if I have read anything that was hauled during that month. Then I just put like a little sticker down here just to fill in a little bit of white space. I'll do that consistently as well. Okay, so here is the book reviews. This is like my wrap-up pages. These headers are from an older reading journal that I used before, and I never used, there was like a lot of pages in the back for book reviews, but I never used them. It was like, you know, three per page, and you could fill it in and do all that stuff. But I never used those. I just used a wrap up page. So I tore them out of my older journal and just ripped off the titles and then stuck them in here. So each month is going to have this little book reviews title, which I really love, and I'm going to be sad when they're all used up. But this is where I'm putting all of my thoughts about the books, kind of a little mini book review, I guess. And then I'm kind of decorating them as I go. I also will have these random little books, which are from the Barnes & Noble yearly reading challenge, which I found on Instagram. I will leave that link down below as well. I'll leave that post link down below. But it's just like a fun little challenge with prompts for you to read throughout the entire year. So if I read a book that fits one of these prompts, I'm printing out this little book with the prompt on it. And I literally just took the Instagram photo, saved it to my laptop, put it in a Word document, and printed it out. So I'm cutting it out as I go. But I will I'm using number stamps for how many books I'm reading. I usually go in order that I read them. I will stamp out a little star rating system, fill in what my rating is. I have a little headphone stamp if it's an audiobook. So I had 2 audios here, and then I have a little open book stamp. So these are all stamps just from my scrapbooking collection. This means I read it physically, and then I do have a little Kindle stamp as well for any Kindle books that I use. But I'm just kind of decorating a little bit and putting some things in here that would remind me of the book or that fits. I have like sticker books that I can flip through, and that's how I document my reviews every month. And I have a little DNF as well. I have DNF'd quite a few books this year. I think I'm at 11 right now, where like that I've just not continued reading. And so I'll write those books in here too, so I make sure I reference them in my videos. So that was January. And then we'll go into February. February is going to be basically the same thing. I didn't have any anticipated releases or anything. So I just use stickers just to decorate a little bit, which is fine. I'm using very, very flat stickers. So these are as flat as they can be. They're almost like paper. I'm not using anything with bulk because it's gonna, make the pages warp, and, I'm not using anything bulky. So as flat as I can possibly have in here. So same thing again, plans, arcs, hauled, big sticker because I had room down there, and then getting into the book reviews. And just anything, this is one of the more decorated ones for sure. So like this is Legends and Lattes. I have a big coffee cup sticker, this was The Soul of an Octopus by Cy Montgomery. So I have a big octopus image here. And then just like anything here is one of my Kindle stamps as well. So I read this one on my Kindle, All the Dangerous Things. I read that on my Kindle. So just kind of stuff like that. And then any stickers that kind of remind me of the book, that give me kind of feelings of the book, I'll stick in here. Then here is continuing. So I read 7 books here, which is awesome. And then I did have another DNF here. So this is the wintertime bingo board that Lindsay and I did. It ended in February. That was the last month. So I put my board here afterwards. And over here, I did write the bingo books, like what I read for the bingo prompts here. So that's something I just kind of stuck in there as well. Okay, so March. So same thing, plans, arcs, hauled. And then for March, was middle grade March, right? So that's a big deal. I bought the sticker from the middle grade Etsy shop, the Middle Grade March Etsy shop. So that's their logo. So I put this up here, and then I just drew circles with a little stencil and then wrote in the prompts for each one, all the prompts that they had, and then what book I read for them. And I read my entire TBR for that. So that was awesome. Or I didn't read my entire TBR. I think I had a couple on there I didn't read, but I did read books to fit all the prompts. So that was good. And then over here is where I did my book reviews. So I got all these here. So this one is like Finley Donovan. So that really kind of looks a little bit like the cover, like Finley Donovan on the cover there. So I try to match it as well as I can. So this was a really good month because I read 10 books and then I had a DNF, just one. And then April. So April is when I did my spring releases, so my most anticipated. So I have April, May, June. So I have all these down here. And then again, plans, arcs hauled, and book reviews. So just all the stuff and the things, all the stickers and fun things. And then we have May, plans, arcs hauled, book reviews. This is mostly what it is. So it's very repetitive, honestly, but I know exactly what I'm doing and I know where to find things. Little extra stuff will pop up every once in a while, but that's okay. Okay, and then we get into June. I didn't have anything extra for June, and I didn't have, like, I didn't want to just not put anything over here, so I just put my title there. It's fine. Plans, arcs hauled. And then, so here's Booktrovert Bingo, which is a bingo that my friend Audrey from Chapter and Converse did. And I printed out her prompt board, and then she also provided a blank one. So I put both in here because I could mark off the prompts, and then I would write in here which books I read for those prompts, and I would match it up to where they are on the board. So I can see what I like marking off things. I got 2 bingos out of it, and then I wrote down the books that I read for those prompts. So that was kind of fun. And it ended in June, so that's why I put that in here. And then into my book reviews. And then we're into July. So for July, summer releases. So July, August, September. So I got those in there. Plans, arcs hauled. And then in July is catch-up-a-thon. So I printed out the image for that. So this is the book of the month readathon that's happening, that Krista from Books and Jams and Amy from Amy's Bookish Life are hosting. So I'm participating in it. We're currently doing it. So I have these here, and then over here I will track what I'm reading, what I end up reading. And then I have book reviews ready to go, and that is the last of it. I actually do have 2 books to write in here now. So sometime this week I'll sit down and I will write out the 2 books that I've read so far this month. But that is it. That is my reading journal that I am currently using for this year. I know you guys have been asking for a while if you could see it. There it is. I may do an end of the year one, kind of flip through really quick and do the second half of the year. If you guys really want to see that, let me know when it's all kind of finished and done. I could definitely share that later on. I just don't do it monthly because there's not a whole lot, you know, different to show every month, but that is what is going on with my reading journal. So I will link this journal if I can, but definitely the website where I got this journal. I will link Megan's video, who showed me how to do the bookshelves. I will link the color pencils I'm using for those. I will link my dot pens that I'm using in here as well. So anything that I can link supply-wise, I will link down below for you guys. But I'm pretty sure I got everything on Amazon. That's just how it goes. And I will also link any booktubers that I mentioned as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please let me know if you have any other questions and I will try to answer them. And I will see you guys again soon. Have a great day. Bye.